Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we want to take a look at Hydreigon in the Open Master League. This Pokemon is actually going to be a very interesting pick here because it's going to be just a standard dragon that's going to be able to destroy those Kyogre, of course, but also you're going to be able to wall some Pokemon like a Mewtwo usually because they're usually running the move Shadow Ball as well as you're going to be able to wall Giratina, which is very important in the current meta as Giratina is everywhere. So this Pokemon is a lot of fun to play if you get into the right scenarios, and honestly I climbed with this team as well, which is kinda nice to see. If you don't have a Hydreigon, you kinda want to still do a similar team like this one here, just use something like Zacian or Kyurem or any kind of other dragon in the back. But here, for example, you're going to see already Giratina against us, totally fine for us. We're going to have our Dragon Breath damage here. We would actually be able to also best buddy this Hydreigon, but because we have to best buddy our Dialga in this team, we sadly are not able to do this in this one here, but look at this, Giratina against us, we don't care, we just farm them all the way down here. Now we have 100 energy and we should be able to get off 2 moves against the opponent's memos when they're going to just let this move go through and let us win this game. Again, Shadow Ho in the lead here, going to have a great lead against this Groudon. In comes Mewtwo, in comes Hydreigon. And of course Hydreigon going to have a pretty decent time here, as they're actually running the purified version. I'm going to shield up the first one here. You wonder most likely why, but like they could have, of course, the move Focus Blast, which would just one-shot us, and I don't really want this to happen. But as you're going to see here, we will be able to now take another charge move. This should only be a side strike. And we will be able to get out of this match out with basically 100 energy, as well as some health that the opponent still has to go for one Fire Punch with their Groudon in order to knock me out. So this is looking pretty decent for us right now, as you're going to get more and more damage onto the opponent. Incoming another Brutal Swing, going to get maybe even another one off. No, they're going to be able to seem P-tie against us. But like this, the opponent basically only has one Pokemon left. It's going to be their Kyurem. We will be able to go for one Sacred Fire first here with our own Shadow variant of the Ho-Oh. They're going to shield this move up, of course, but we're going to get the attack drop, which will allow us now to easily take this next charge move from the opponent. Glaciate coming through. We swap out into our Dialga, and we can just farm them all the way down. We don't have to shield here at all. This is going to be a pretty easy one. As this Glaciate is coming through here, we will be able to just farm them all the way down. Good game there. Let's take a look at the next one. We're going to see here the next opponent coming in. Ho-Oh against Zacian. This is going to be a very decent matchup for us. In comes a Mewtwo again, and we can go ahead and go into our Hydreigon, and my opponent decides to go for their own charge move here. I'm going to let this move go through this time around. They're going to have Side Strike, which is an interesting play, and I guess they had a Focus Burst. They just want to bait me, and so they're going to forfeit there as well, which will win us the game very easy and very fast. Again, another Zacian against us here. We try to go for the Sacred Fire, but they're going to be able to go for their move first. It's going to be a Wild Charge. I'm going to go straight for the Sacred Fire now, as this will maybe even be able to lower the opponent's attack, which would be very nice. And we're actually going to be able to do exactly that, allowing us still to shield up the next charge move here from the opponent. I kind of still want to keep the health on to my Ho-Oh, as we can go ahead and go for another Sacred Fire against the opponent's Lugia here, allowing us to do a ton of damage against them, way more than I expected. They can go for the Sky Attack here. We still survived that one pretty easily, and we can go ahead and go into our Dialga. They might still get to an Arrow Blast against us. I'm not sure about this one. It's going to be close. It might be one, but we're going to be able to get out of this matchup with a ton of energy. It's only a Sky Attack. That's amazing, as you're going to have so much energy here right now. We will see the opponent coming back into their Zacian, I think, exactly, and we will be able to, of course, hit them here with one Iron Hat that they're going to shield up. And now we're going to still need to get to another one here, but we're going to now go down here from the close combat coming in. We're going to be able to go for another charge move here with our Ho-Oh, as they're going to swap out into their Dialga. But look at the damage output of the Ho-Oh. We will be able to farm them all the way down with Hydreigon. And now one Brutal Swing would be enough to already knock them out, but they're going to decide to forfeit this game. Good game there. Next opponent, Dialga lead, pretty neutral lead in general. It's kind of awkward, I think, because your Shadow variant, if it would be the normal variant, most likely would be a little bit better for us here. But as we are the Shadow variant, it's going to be a little bit more tricky. We're going to be able to go for a charge move, but sadly they don't even debuff the opponent. We will be able to go ahead and shield up one Iron Head from the opponent, and in comes the Zacian. Zacian going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. I'm going to have to shield this move up. It's going to be a player off. That's really unfortunate here, but we will be able to go for another Iron Hat here against the opponent, which might force a shield, but they're going to actually let this move go through, which is not really ideal for us. We can go for another charge move against them. Here going to be another Iron Hat, and they're going to let this move go through. In comes now a Landorus, And I forgot the counts for this Pokemon. I should try to swap out earlier into my Ho-Oh or something, but like this, they're going to be able to just finish us up here anyway, as they're going to be able to go back into our Hydreigon. This is really not looking good for us, as they have another Earth Power stored against us. And in comes now the Dialga. We have to hope that we can just get to a charge move here, but sadly they're going to be able to knock me out before I reach my next charge move here, and now I can just hope that I can farm down, but this doesn't work out. Think if I played a little bit better, I would have been able to actually still win this game there, but a very good play, like very well played by my opponent. Interesting to see that kind of variant from Landorus. Usually you see this Theorent form, but not this one, as they're going to encounter a Lugia against us here right now. We're going to get the attack debuff, which is amazing. We can go for 3 more fast moves and then swap out. Trying to catch a move here, but they're going to be able to go for an Aeroblast here for sure, but it's going to be resisted plus debuffed, so I don't really care too much about this one. We should be able to farm them all the way down before they can go for another Aeroblast. They might still get to another move, but they don't even do that one. As the opponent's Dialga is coming in here, we're going to be able to shield up the Iron Head from the opponent. In comes our Iron Head here. We should be able to get this one off here pretty easily. And now we should still be able to reach a Dracomedia in time, but nope, we are not. And this is really bad for us. Sure went for the Iron Head here for sure. This is such a bad matchup now for us. We're going to have to go for one Brave Bird here. They're going to shield this move up. I'm going to swap out into my Hydreigon, but this is not looking good here whatsoever. I'm going to have to shield up the next charge from the opponent. Going to be the Iron Head, and we're going to see a normal Giratina coming in here. Giratina with the legs, a Pokemon that you usually only really see in the Ultra League, but actually has a lot of potential in the Open Master League as well. One of the bulkiest Pokemon in the meta right now. Maybe I should do like the bulkiest team for the Master League or something with like Giratina altered as well as Lugia. Would be an interesting core at least. I actually don't know which is really bulky other than those two, to be fair, in this meta. They're quite, like, most of them have kind of similar bulk altogether. Here, this was actually the wildest game of them all. We're going to encounter a Shadow Tyranitar in the lead with a Smackdown, of course, against our Shadow Ho-Oh. Maybe not the ideal scenario. We're going to see the Superpower coming through here. I'm going to go for the bait because I expected them to shield this move up after they are debuffed. But no, they are not. They don't care about this one. If I had Thunder, I would have easily been able to realign. If I had even went for my Dracomedia, I think I would have been able to realign. But I guess my opponent doesn't really care too much about this one. And turns out I just misplayed this pretty hard here anyway, and I'm just going to forfeit. Like, at this point of time, we were already hard content in the lead. We wouldn't be able to realign our Pokemon. They called our bait. We were so far behind, there was no real reason for me to keep going. In comes Gholdengo. Gholdengo going to be a little bit of a trickier one to deal with for this matchup here specifically, because actually the rest of our team would be really good against it, but of course my opponent gets the perfect alignment here, as the focus bar is going to knock me out. I'm forced to go into my Ho-Oh here in order to farm them all the way down here, but you see already, we do a ton of damage with our fast move. I'm going to let this move go through here because there's no real reason for me not to do this one. I'm going to go ahead and go for one Brave Bird here right now, as you have now 100 energy onto our Ho-Oh, so we'll do some decent damage against the opponent. I can swap out here right now. And in comes a Lugia. This is not looking too good for us. Well, yes, a Brutal Swing going to be super effective. Their fast move is going to be super effective, and they have way more bulk than us. So, while Hydreigon going to have a half okayish time here, it's not going to be the best one for it yet. As you're going to see here right now, we're going to be able to shield up the charge move from the opponent. It's going to be a Sky Attack, but it's not really looking too good for us here right now. We will be able to shield up another one here because we have to keep our Hydreigon alive. And I can swap now into my Ho-Oh, go for the Brave Bird, knock out the opponent there. But I feel like that the Kyogre is just gonna be so close to getting to a charge move here. I have to hope that I can go for the Brutal Swing in time, and we lose the CMP tie there. That was really unfortunate, as the opponent going to be able to knock us out here, but yeah, honestly, really unfortunate here. We're going to see the next opponent, the Ho against the Kyogre. Of course, we're going to go into our Say-So of the Dialga, and in comes a Primarina. At this point of time, I know already that I lost this game. Why do I know that? Because my opponent is running a very toxic team for the Master League, double charm team with the Primarina as a Say-Swap here, the Kyogre in the lead, and most likely Togekiss in the back or something. So this is going to be a tough one to do anything here, to be fair, because the opponent going to be able to now actually even great play there by them in general to let me farm them down a little bit further. But yeah, you can see my opponent just completely hardwalled me. Like, there was literally nothing I could have done in this case. Completely hardwalled from the get-go. Next game here, we're going to see a Dialga against us. Let's take a look at this one. We're going to be able to go for one Sacred Fire against them. Hopefully, this is only an Iron Head. You get to your move, I think. Actually, I think you get there at the same time as Draco Media. I'm not sure, to be fair, but the Sacred Sword is going to be able to get the attack drop onto the opponent, which is nice, because now we're going to be able to have a better matchup with our own Dialga, as we can go ahead and reach for the Iron Head, forcing the knockout of the opponent, as you're going to see a Giratina coming in. So they seem to be a little bit weak against those Dragon-type Pokemon in the back here. In comes Omnious Wind. Not really ideal for us, but we will be able to reach another Iron Head here right now. It's going to force most likely a shield from the opponent, and it does. And now I'm going to say, okay, I'm just going to put everything onto my Hydreigon. Let's see if I can win with this Pokemon. They're going to go for another charge move here. It's going to be a Palkia in the back. That's going to be an interesting one here. As we both have Dragon Breath, I will be able to reach my Brutal Swing in time here right now, and I will be able to do a ton of damage, putting them into farmland range before they can go for Draco Media, and we will be able to win this game here pretty easily. Good game there. Next game here, Excadrill in the lead. This is really not ideal, but I guess because we are the Shadow variant, we will be able to now farm them down way easier, which is going to be very interesting. As you're going to see here, the Rock Slide coming through, we're going to shield this move up, and we're going to see the Giratina coming in right now. And you know already, I just love Hydreigon. Hydreigon is very, very great against all those Giratina safe swaps that think that they are safe right now, because they are not safe. I will be able to go for one charge move against them here right now. Brutal Swing coming through, going to get the shield from the opponent. As you're going to get them super low already, I will be able to now just go ahead, let this Shadow Ball go through here, and I farm them all the way down, allowing us as well to reach for another charge move here right now, which we already have stored against the Excadrill. And as we had already the damage from the Incinerate coming through here, we actually put them into range where we can just knock them out with that, and there's nothing my opponent can do here anymore. As we have now the Kyogre against the Dialga, there is literally nothing the opponent can do here anymore in order to win this game. We're going to be able to just go straight for the Draco Media and win this game here. Final game for today's video. This team was definitely a lot of fun to play. Definitely something that worked out pretty well for me. Of course, usually something like Zekrom or whatever will be most likely a little bit better compared to the Hydreigon, but still a very fun team to play. And let's take a look at this final matchup here. We're going to see the Shadow variant versus the Purified variant. You actually see me swapping out here. I thought I might be able to catch a Brave Bird, which would have been a little bit better, but no, they overfarmed to a Sacred Fire. And now we're going to be in a tough spot, because if we don't get our Dialga onto the Lugia, it's going to be always a little bit tricky here. But the Draco Media at least still going to get through and going to do some decent damage against them, allowing us to go for one Sacred Fire against them as well afterwards, as they're going to go ahead and go for one Sky Attack here. Pretty obvious players, you can go ahead and go for our own charge move. You're going to be able to go for the Sacred Fire and just incinerate them down. In comes Yveltal. That's going to be a little bit of a trickier one. We will be able to reach for another charge move here. The Brave Bird is coming through. This will be able to get the shield from the opponent, and we can go ahead and go into our own Hydreigon. They have Focus Burst, I have the shield here, and they're gonna go straight for the Focus Burst. As the whole approach is here right now, I have to let this next move go through. It's going to be their own Brave Bird, which we can still survive, and we can farm them all the way down. But now we just have to hope that somehow the Flashkin is going to be enough to save us in this game today and win us this game against the Yveltal, and it will be enough. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Otherwise, you see on the screen here right now my latest video on the left side. The right side, you have the top teams for the Master League, as well as my coaching offer. If you want to have some coaching, link is there as well, and I'll see you in the next video.